We begin on Eyewitness News at 4 with major breaking news. Highly renowned NASCAR legend Greg Biffle and his family have been killed in a fiery plane crash.
Greg Biffle captured 56 victories across NASCAR's 3 national series, becoming one of just 3 drivers in history to win championships in both the Truck Series and the Busch Series. He later earned a place on NASCAR's list of the 75 greatest drivers of all time. And just 2 months before his passing, he was piloting helicopter rescue missions into communities across North Carolina devastated by hurricane ravage. On December 18, 2025, Greg Biffle, along with his wife Christina, their 14-year-old daughter Emma, and their 5-year-old son Ryder, tragically lost their lives when their private aircraft crashed at Statesville Regional Airport in North Carolina. Also killed in the crash were family friends Dennis Dutton, his son Jack Dutton, and Craig Wadsworth. 7 lives were lost in a single, devastating moment. When the news broke, shockwaves tore through the NASCAR community. Anyone who followed the sport through the 2000s and into the 2010s immediately understood why this tragedy hit so hard. Greg Biffle was never just a driver collecting trophies or cashing checks. He was a competitor who came from the Pacific Northwest, nearly as far removed from traditional NASCAR territory as possible, and still managed to build one of the most impressive careers the sport has ever seen. 19 years spent with one organization defined his professional journey, with victories at the highest level filling his resume. Yet in the final chapter of his life, something even greater than championships emerged. Greg Biffle became a hero. This is the full story of the Biff, from a young kid fabricating his own race cars in Washington state, to a 2-time national champion, to the man flying helicopters to deliver supplies into mountain towns cut off from the outside world. Or story that ended far too soon. At approximately 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time, a Cessna Citation 550 business jet crashed at Statesville Regional Airport in North Carolina. The aircraft was registered to GB Aviation Leasing LLC, listed at Biffle's Mooresville address. After taking off, the plane traveled just 29 miles before turning back toward the airport. During the attempted landing, it went down and erupted into flames. All 7 passengers aboard the aircraft were killed. The North Carolina State Highway Patrol confirmed every fatality, while the FAA launched a full investigation, with final findings expected to take up to 2 years. Greg Biffle was 55 years old at the time of his death, just 5 days shy of his 56th birthday. NASCAR released a statement that reflected the gravity of the loss. NASCAR is devastated by the tragic loss of Greg Biffle, his wife Christina, daughter Emma, son Ryder, Craig Wadsworth, and Dennis and Jack Dutton. Greg was more than a championship driver. He was a cherished member of the NASCAR family, a fierce competitor, and a friend to so many. Jack Roush, the man who gave Biffle his opportunity nearly 3 decades earlier, shared his own message. "I have lost a close friend and a partner in our NASCAR program. His impact on our race team over the years cannot be measured." Gregory Jack Biffle was born on December 23, 1969, in Vancouver, Washington, a place that could not be further from NASCAR's traditional heartland. Stock car racing's roots run deep across the Carolinas, Georgia, and Virginia, throughout the Southeast, where the sport operates almost like a regional religion. Vancouver, Washington sits nearly as far from Daytona Beach as one can travel without leaving the continental United States. His father, Garland Jack Biffle, too, worked for years in the family steel business, where Greg eventually began working as well. The Biffle family traced its ancestry back to Johannes Biffle, a German immigrant who arrived from Western Germany in the 1700s. Racing talent wasn't something passed down through generations. This passion belonged solely to Greg. Washington became his hometown, and as a teenager, he discovered short track racing throughout the Pacific Northwest. What truly reveals Greg Biffle's character is how he chose to fund that racing passion. Instead of simply taking a regular job, he started his own race car chassis business. The car's other drivers competed and were machines Greg Biffle built with his own hands, designed specifically so he could afford to race himself. A restaurant business operated alongside everything else throughout his early 20s, meaning a man barely out of his teens was simultaneously managing a restaurant, constructing race car chassis for customers, and competing on local short tracks. That degree of dedication stretches beyond simple passion and crosses into obsession. And that's usually the trait of someone determined to find a way forward no matter what stands in the way. The opportunity revealed itself between 1995 and 1996 during the Winter Heat Series, where Biffle competed and dominated on his path to a championship. That run caught the attention of someone whose endorsement would completely change his future. Hall of Fame driver Benny Parsons. Parsons saw something unique in the young driver from Washington. The talent was clear, but what stood out even more was the relentless work ethic, the drive, and the hunger. Benny Parsons picked up the phone and called Jack Roush to talk about Greg Biffle. Jack Roush stands among the most influential team owners NASCAR has ever known, and by the mid-1990s, Rush Racing had already established itself as a legitimate powerhouse. When Benny Parsons tells you a young driver is worth watching, you listen. Roush signed Biffle, and in 1998, Greg began his first full-time season in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series at the age of 28, older than the typical rookie. But that age came with years of experience, preparation, and hard-earned knowledge. The payoff was immediate. A record was set during that rookie season that still stands today for pole positions as a Truck Series rookie, a mark no one has yet surpassed. The Rookie of the Year award followed, and suddenly the chassis builder from Washington was being discussed as one of NASCAR's most promising young prospects. Then came 1999, the season that introduced Greg Biffle to the entire racing world. He racked up 9 Truck Series wins that year, a single season total so dominant it stood untouched for 26 years until Corey Haim finally broke it in 20-5. 9 wins in one season was pure domination. The championship, however, slipped through his fingers by just 8 points, resulting in a second-place finish 8 points after winning 9 races. It remains one of the most painful near misses in Truck Series history. Still, discouragement never appeared in Biffle's demeanor. The 2000 season brought resolution when he captured the Craftsman Truck Series championship. He defeated his own teammate, Kurt Busch, by 230 points in a title run that wasn't even close. Greg Biffle stood as a NASCAR national champion. The climb didn't stop there. In 2001, he moved up to what was then known as the Busch Series, today's Xfinity Series, and once again earned Rookie of the Year honors, proof that every level immediately recognized him as a legitimate threat. That season also included 5 victories. Then 2000 to change everything. 4 wins powered Greg Biffle to the Busch Series championship, and that achievement placed his name permanently in NASCAR history as the first driver ever to win championships in both the Truck Series and the Busch Series. Every great driver before him had failed to do what Greg Biffle had just accomplished. That distinction placed him in rare company, one that only 3 drivers have ever joined. Greg Biffle was the pioneer. By 2003, the call to the big stage arrived. The NASCAR Cup Series, the highest level of American stock car racing, was next. His first full Cup season came in 2003, driving the No. 16 Ford for Roush Racing, and confirmation that he belonged didn't take long. The Pepsi 400 at Daytona delivered his first Cup Series victory, one of the sport's marquee events. Starting from the 30th position, smart driving paired with flawless fuel strategy produced a winning margin of more than 4 seconds. A rookie winning at Daytona after starting deep in the field showed exactly what kind of raw material Greg Biffle possessed. Jack Roush once summed him up with 4 words that quickly became legend: Greg Biffle is a young man in a hurry. That assessment proved to be spot on. To truly understand both the brilliance and the heartbreak that defined Greg Biffle's career, you have to look closely at the 2005 season, because that year represented the absolute peak of his time in racing. And yet, the championships still slipped away. That season produced 6 Cup Series victories, more than any other driver across the entire field. Jimmy Johnson won fewer, Jeff Gordon won fewer, Tony Stewart won fewer. Greg Biffle sat atop the win column and captured back-to-back Southern 500 victories at Darlington in 2005 and 2006. Those wins placed him in the same company as Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, and David Pearson, elite names in the sport's history. The Southern 500 stands as one of NASCAR's crown jewel events, and during those years, it belonged to Biffle. But when the points were finally tallied at the end of 2005, the result delivered a brutal blow. Second place, 35 points behind Tony Stewart, more wins than anyone else, yet still 35 points short of a championship. After dominating week after week throughout the season, Tony Stewart lifted the trophy, while Greg Biffle was left carrying questions about what might have been for the rest of his life. That season remains one of the greatest what-ifs in NASCAR history. Different luck. One race breaking the opposite way. 35 points found somewhere else on the schedule. Any of those changes could have rewritten history. Those answers will never be known. What is certain is that 2005 proved Greg Biffle belonged among the elite drivers in the world. 6 wins and a second-place points finish define a Hall of Fame caliber season. Championship or not, every driver dreams of winning the Daytona 500, the Super Bowl of stock car racing, the great American race. For Greg Biffle, it became the race that continually slipped through his fingers. A Daytona 500 victory never appeared on his resume, and it wasn't due to a lack of speed or ability. On 3 separate occasions, he ran second with 1 lap remaining, 3 chances to capture the biggest prize in motorsports, and 3 times it vanished. Second place on the final lap, across 3 different years, goes beyond bad luck and crosses into something far crueler, as if the racing gods had decided that particular trophy was never meant to be his dot in November 2024, just weeks before his passing. Biffle gave an interview where he spoke about wanting one more attempt at the Daytona 500. "I want to put something together and run another one in a good, competitive car, so I need to get off my butt and start working on it." That chance disappeared forever. February will bring the 2025 Daytona 500, and Greg Biffle's absence will be felt throughout the field. Despite all he accomplished, records, victories, championships, his career ended with the one trophy he wanted most remaining forever out of reach. One remarkable aspect defined Greg Biffle's career. His entire championship journey unfolded with a single organization. Roush Racing, later known as Roush Fenway Racing, kept him for 19 years, a level of loyalty that has nearly vanished from modern professional sports. From 1998, when the Truck Series first introduced him to the Roush organization, through his final full-time season in 2016, Greg Biffle raced in Roush colors. He became the longest tenured driver in the team's history. Through wins and heartbreak, highs and lows, he never left. The No. 16 Ford became inseparable from Greg Biffle's identity. All 19 of his Cup Series victories came in that car. Over the years, major sponsors Grainger, 3M, National Guard, Ameris Mortgage, Ortho, and KFC appeared on the No. 16 machine. But Biffle remained the constant. Strong crew chiefs worked alongside him throughout his tenure, including Randy Goss, who guided him to championships in both the Truck Series and the Busch Series. Doug Rickard, who had already earned a Cup Series championship alongside Dale Earnhardt in 1980, engineered the remarkable 2005 season. Greg Irwin guided Biffle to a third-place points finish in 2008, while Matt Pucher oversaw his final years with the organization. Star power surrounded him at every turn. Matt Kenseth grew into a close friend, and the two often flew together. Carl Edwards shared space in the Roush garage. Kurt Busch, the teammate Biffle defeated for the 2000 Truck Series championship, competed alongside him. Mark Martin added veteran leadership. The Roush roster was loaded with talent, and Greg Biffle measured up to all of it. Jack Roush's statement following today's news condensed 19 years of partnership into a few devastating words: "I have lost a dear friend and partner in our NASCAR program. His contributions to our race team over the years are immeasurable. Every great NASCAR career includes a defining rivalry, and for Greg Biffle, the most unforgettable opponent of the 2000s was Kevin Harvick. That rivalry ignited at Bristol Motor Speedway in 2002. Bristol is among the most intense tracks on the circuit, where the short track layout sends tempers soaring as high as engine temperatures. During an Xfinity Series race, Biffle and Harvick became entangled, and Biffle wrecked Harvick. What followed entered NASCAR lore. Fury consumed Harvick as he waited on pit road for Biffle's car to come back around. When it did, Harvick leapt onto the car, grabbed Biffle by the collar, and made his feelings about the incident unmistakably clear. Years later, on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s podcast, Biffle revisited that confrontation. "If I wouldn't have gotten fined in that, I probably would have hit him with an uppercut. Just knocked him out when he jumped off the back of the car, a $15,000 fine and a 100-point penalty from a Richmond fight the previous year were the only reasons that punch never landed." That competitive edge defined Greg Biffle. He never went looking for trouble. But backing down was never an option either. The Harvick incident still lives in fan discussions decades later, representing old-school NASCAR raw emotion, real consequences, and to fierce competitors refusing to give an inch. The full scope of Greg Biffle's career deserves recognition because the statistics are staggering. His Cup Series career included 515 starts, 19 victories, and 13 pole positions. He recorded 90 top 5 finishes and 175 top 10s, leading more than 5,800 laps. His runner-up finish in 2005 marked his best points result. In the Xfinity Series, then known as the Busch Series, Biffle made 240 first starts, earning 20 wins, 14 poles, and the 2000 championship. Truck Series numbers show 83 starts, 17 victories, 12 poles, and the 2000 championship. When combined, the totals tell the full story. 842 NASCAR National Series starts, 56 wins, 39 poles, 2 national championships, and historic status as the first driver to capture championships in both the Truck Series and the Busch Series. Career earnings are estimated to exceed $58 million, with net worth figures peaking around $30 million. His highest earning seasons came in 2005 and 2012, each approaching $5.6 million. Major sponsors paid generously, with 3M contributing approximately $23.40 million over the years, and the National Guard adding another $9.90 million. NASCAR's 2023 announcement of the 75 greatest drivers in the sport's history included Greg Biffle's name. Just last year in 2024, he was added to the NASCAR Hall of Fame nominee list. The West Coast Stock Car Hall of Fame inducted him in 2022, and in 2025, the North Carolina Auto Racing Hall of Fame welcomed him into its ranks. Those numbers require no explanation. That career demands celebration, remembrance, and a permanent place in the history books. Greg Biffle was far more than a race car driver. He was a businessman, a pilot, an animal welfare advocate, and a devoted family man, holding licenses for both airplanes and helicopters.